Real Talk.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode of Real Talk. Of course, we discuss culture, society, sports, but let's be honest, politics is really our bread and butter. Speaking of politics, mukhang malakas pa rin ang unity. Unity is in the air. All is well. Hashtag all is good.
Anong term na ginamit ng Pangulo? Kanudling.
Yon! Hashtag maturity. Yan. Hashtag maturity. Yan. So, just right after Sona, huwag na natin pag-usapan ng Sona, pinagsawa naman. Right after Sona, yun na lang pag-usapan natin. Nakita natin itong mga footages, pictures of Vice President Sara All Duterte. Tapos talagang beshing-beshi sila with Martin Romualdez. And then ganyan na Gen Z style si Paolo BBM, feeling good. Yan. Talagang life is good. Unity, maturity. Yan. So ano natin dyan? Basa natin dyan. Ganun ba talagang politika natin? Hello.
I think baka si BBM din. Kasi parang it starts from BBM din. Kasi parang
good vibes siya.
It's a type of guy. Huwag mo nang hayaan mo na. Okay, Sara, ikaw naman, di ka naman mano. Ganun. I think talagang napikon lang si Sara dahil doon sa ginawa kay dati former President Arroyo. Pero nung medyo kumalma na at medyo bumabalik na din sa dati yung relationship between Martin and Arroyo, baka
napansin mo si President Arroyo?
Ano ba?
She was just like quiet in the corner. Tapos, I was wondering what's going on there internally and all. For me, kasi I think the opposition was getting overexcited about this prospect of, unity falling apart. My point naman si Banat Byron is not necessarily a fan of BBM. We know that. But he himself admitted na mukhang malabo na this iron alliance of Sara herself. I'm not talking about Duterte's in general. I'm just on Sara and BBM is gonna hold precisely because there's a shared interest.
Yes.
BBM has no interest in making the entire Duterte family's enemy. The father is already making some, kerfuffle here and there, foreign policy, domestic. And Sara also doesn't want to be an alienated, weakened, marginalized VP because she wants to have it smooth so that 2028, whatever she decides, is going to be best for her. So there's a shared interest there. And by that very logic, we shouldn't be surprised if Martin Romualdez, who's very close to the president, also realizes what's the point of having fights and all, let's put it behind us. And I think that's where, you tell me, that's where I'm still conflicted on how to assess the Marcos Jr. strategy. Because on one hand, I've written how many articles over the past days, and all the interviews, sinabi ko yung kulang sa tingin ko sa Sonny na whereby he doesn't defend his controversial policies. He doesn't, whether it's EDCA, which Duterte criticizes, whether it's Maharlika, which economists and opposition criticizes. It's very rose-tinted. Parang pag pinakinggan mo yung Sonny na nung isang araw, parang ang sarap pala sa Pilipinas, wala pala tayong problema. So you can make fun of him for not being aggressive enough. But at the same time, he's a very successful politician.
But parang he just needs to keep everybody happy.
Just a slice of a cake here, slice of the pandesal here. And actually it works. So, siguro in a first world democracy, you would expect him to, but maybe he understands Philippine politics better than all of us. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it in a fan mode. I'm saying it in a humble way. Now, sometimes actually politicians may know things better than us on the outside because they're inside the ring, they're in the thick of action. And Marcos Jr.'s, I'm not talking about his political competence, I'm talking about his electoral success and political capital. He's probably one of the most successful Filipino politicians ever.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy didn't have to graduate from anything. The guy didn't have to really achieve anything great. Like, what were his achievements? Because the windmills are, Ayala yata in Denmark. I mean, you can say, like, nothing really stellar about his entire political record. At least Digong, you can say, even if you don't agree with him, he did some radical things in Davao, whether you agree or not, no? Hindi lang in drug war, LGBTQ policies niya, very progressive, etc. Ito wala but biggest ever margin of victory, very high approval ratings yet. Everyone is kind of okay with him and appreciating him. So maybe this pa-safe style politically works. But again, as I said, I'm not You tell me. Okay, you tell me. Kasi conflicted pa rin ako on this.
Hindi, ako yun nga, I agree with you naman na as a politician nga, ang galing siya. Pero I think kasi yung personality niya talaga
Yeah, you're
In
right.
the same way na
You're right.
si Digong din, yung personality ni Digong is upfront Pag sinabi ko, ito dapat. Pag kinontra mo ako, I will tear you down. Kapag di ba, ito yung gusto ko. Si BBM, more of, parang parang chill lang.
Yeah.
Happy-go-lucky. Okay tayo. Ganun. Ganun ba? Ganun ba? Sige. Ito, ano na lang niya. Ikaw na bahala mag-ano dito. Parang hindi confrontational
Si Digong kasi parang pag wala siyang inaway sa isang araw, maboboard siya. I think it's that time talaga na kailangan niya ng action, diba?
Tingnan mo, even lahat ng mga tinatanggal ng mga cabinet members ni BBM, hindi everyone was personal reasons, health reasons. Walang sinibak lang or tinanggal
or talagang
lang
they made it impossible like Vic Rodriguez. Like, alangan naman, I'll keep you there despite everything, diba? So,
even kay Vic Rodriguez, he wanted to keep Vic Rodriguez around.
Like, he was forced na last
diba?
minute.
Pinigilan lang siya last minute. So, hindi talaga confrontational
Conflict-averse nga.
Oo, I think that's just who he is kahit as a senator, diba? Yung sinasabi ng mga kasamahan niya. Baka yun lang talaga si BBM as yung personality niya. Pagdating sa and he's making it the most out of dun sa ganung style niya.
Which is my question, di ba, Mark? This may work in your honeymoon year, first year or so, especially because no offense to people who support either side of this debate, but from Aquino to Duterte, tingnan mo yung mga sona nila, palaban pareho. Aquino blaming everything on Arroyo essentially, on corruption and all, which I won't completely disagree with. Or ERA or whatever. And Digong blaming everything on liberals for all the problems. So both of them, actually, kung pinanood mo yung sona mo, there's a clarion call, support me, kailangan ko kayo, ito yung problema. So there's a sense of urgency, crisis, confrontation. Again, I'm not drawing equivalence between Aquino and Duterte, but there is some sort of continuity in terms of both of them having some sort of a radical change element to them. One against corruption, one against drugs, right? And on some level against each other. BBM, wala. Parang walang problema, walang kalaban.
Yumaman tayo lahat, parang ganun.
Happy, mabilis na yung internet natin. Yung mga ganun lang, di ba?
Travel na lang tayo.
Yeah, exactly.
Pero I think, for me, this is my view lang on this. Kasi ang tingin ko talaga kay BBM, he's happy na lang to finish his term. Try to, take away yung stigma from the Marcos name or yung try linisin yung Marcos name. And then
so that's the second element. So a while ago, you correctly pointed out, there's a temperament aspect. But the second issue is, the main project really here is full rehabilitation of Marcos.
Yeah, and I think silang magkakapatid, merong trauma of being, di ba, tawag dito, anong magandang term? For the last 30
Stigmatized.
years.
I don't see trauma with Amy. Amy seems to be doing very well.
Yeah, she's showing it in a different way.
Okay, yeah.
Di ba? She's manifesting in a different way.
Mark, kawawa talaga mga Marcoses. No, their life is so hard. I feel so bad for them.
They're still humans, okay? Yung dad nila gumawa
I feel bad for Mars.
They're affected by the positives and the negatives ng legacy ng dad nila.
Of course.
Okay, so unlike kay Pinoy and kay Duterte, na I think the goal is after ng 6-year term ko, dapat ang magtutuloy yung partido ko pa rin or yung tao ko pa rin.
Right.
Kay BBM, I don't feel that And parang, kahit hindi ko i-push, si Sara naman susunod.
Default na yan. Yeah,
default
exactly.
Mukha namang mananalo si Sara.
You're right. That it's also the long game, no? Let me go back to what you said. I completely agree because that's the argument I'm raising. And I'm working already on a book on the Marcoses kasi ang kapal na mukha ko, di ba? First year pa lang hindi ko, may libro na ako hindi ko. Pero ito medyo hintayin ko ng konti, no? Niluluto ko pa to. Babalik ako sa motherlands. Ilocos soon. Watch out dyan, mga dyan, Kalawag, Batak, yung mga ganun. No, I mean, kasi ganito, you don't, in fairness, first made in Malacanang, shout out, Daryl, why? My point naman na, si BBM kasi, di ba? He was the prodigal son, right? I mean, everyone knows that. And then towards the end of the Marcos regime, medyo nag-overcompensate na siya kaya naka-military fatigue, And base dun sa mga writings ng people like Manolo Quezon, by the way, congratulations, newlywed Manolo Quezon, my fellow columnist in Choir. He was the hawk, last hawk na yung tawag ni Manolo Quezon. He was asking the dad to go more aggressive. And the dad was saying, hindi na, tapos na yung laban, let's just get out of here. So my sense is, when they were in Hawaii, something happened there. Because, syempre, his father passed away there. And, bro, for those who have been in Hawaii, pag nasa Hawaii ka, ako actually nanidepress ako. Because it's so peaceful and beautiful. Biglang naiisip mo lahat ng mga drama mo sa buhay. First love, first breakup, so there's just something about Hawaii, Honolulu, that area that is very conducive to soul searching. So my sense is that few years they feel luxurious. There's kawawa naman talaga mga Marcos. They had in Hawaii, kawawa talaga sila. Hawaii, so hard. Life is so hard. Exile. Diba? I think he really went through this process. And he came up with this understanding that this is I will have to ask him at some point na parang sense na is kaya nagganyan yung family na because the father went too much. Naging megalomania. Like if his father played it a little bit more, although there are many things we can talk about.
Meron bang authoritarian na hindi di ba?
You can be. Lee Kuan Yew.
That's one. But
that model works.
Out of hundreds of
I know, but why can't Marcos be one of those successful dictators who engineered the soft success? Cambodia, Hun Sen just gave it to his son, right? He's a soft dictator in a sense. So I think that part of him realized that sometimes in life, if you tone down things a little bit more chill about things actually work. And look at it. Parang sabi na, balik ka tayo sa Pinas. Feeling ko walang mangyari. Na bumalik. Aba, walang nangyari. Next thing you know, and you watch it dun sa Kingmaker, literally, admit ng Marcos as they were surprised at how pagbalik nila, actually marami may gusto sa kanila. Okay lang pala. So I think a part of him he realized, you played patient, you played chill, you played long game, there'll be vindication. And look at it. He won the biggest margin ever. Effortless, no debate, no effort. Pakyut, that's it. So, I can completely understand why he'll keep on trying to do the same thing because it works and it's a product of this very profound soul searching. Kawawa talaga sila sa Hawaii, no? They were so hard. So, yun lang, Mark. Sige lang, Mark. Pag-usapan natin mga biktimang yan, kawawa naman sila. Kawawa. So, but yun nga but that's the thing you may not be interested in confrontation, but confrontation will be interested in you at some point kasi maraming mga ambisyoso dyan nakapaligid sa kanya. We don't need to even name drop, right? And then, nanggigigil pa rin na marami sa opposition who are waiting for a scandal. Because we're not sure the scandals that could come out from Maharlika Sovereign will fund down the road. We're not sure about yung EDCA na yan. Baka pumalpak yan down the road. I'm saying it as someone who appreciates stronger alliances, no? But hindi rin ako 100% sure sa EDCA na yan, to be honest. So, even if Marcos wants this, keep it chill, keep it good, magagawa mo ba yan for 6 years straight? Sa tingin mo, sustainable ba yung strategy na ganyan? Yung pa-safe style na yan?
Katulad din nung sinabi ni Banat Bay nung last interview natin sa kanya, pwede mo gawin yan, pero hindi mo yan pwedeng gawin sa military yung ganyang approach. You need to keep your military happy. Kasi, di ba, baka maulit yung nangyari sa dad niya. Di ba? If he doesn't play his cards right. If he keeps yung pushing the issue. Kaya nga sa zona niya, di ba, parang pinag-usapan niya yung sa pension ng
military uniform personnel.
Di ba? That was, I think, mentioned twice dun sa kanyang sang zona. So, he needs to pay attention to that. Hindi niya pwedeng paano-ano lang yung pagdating sa issues ng military. Kasi he just came after a president who was very popular with the military. Talagang alagang-alaga.
Lavished everything.
Alagang-alaga ni Digong yung military nung term. Sumosobra nga, di ba?
Pero yun Mark, there's no such thing as free lunch. Kung hindi maayos ng pension reform issue, kawawa yung economy. At kung kawawa ang economy, sira din yung legacy niya. Because, let's be honest, I think if Marcos Jr. wants to be known for one thing, is infrastructure and economic growth. Kitang-kita mo, doon siya komportable. Tingnan mo yung first Sonia niya, second Sonia niya. Easily 45-50% of the speech is all about economics. Look at the 12, 14 proposals he had legislative. Again, more than half have economic aspect to it. Hindi siya nag-graduate, pero feeling niya graduate siya ng Wharton and Oxford ng PPE, no? So you could see that the guy is really a technocrat at heart, or frustrated technocrat for that matter, to be more accurate about it. So, yun yung point ko eh. Sometimes you need to be confrontational if you want to get things done, right? I mean, again, I don't agree with Digong on many things, but I agree with Digong that sometimes you have to call things out. Like, yung issue ng oligarchs, tama naman si Digong eh, except he was calling out the wrong oligarchs while new oligarchs were coming. But I agree that sometimes, kasi, again, you tell me, I mean, pag kinausap mo yung ating mga mamamayan, maraming frustrations ang tao, ang daming abusado, ang daming balasubas, ang daming kurakot, ganun. And I just feel a chill-style president, it's not the best thing for our country because sometimes you need confrontation. It's like, nasa family ka, may bully sa family, tapos yung mami mo, hayaan mo na yan, di ba, nag-build up ng frustration. At some point, mag-explode yan. So I just have doubts about sustainability of the strategy.
I think doon papasok yung people around him, yung inner circle niya, or yung mga deputy niya. Yun ang dapat maging confrontation.
They do attack dogs. I see what you're saying.
Sila dapat yung mag-fill dun sa kakulangan ni BBM sa ganung style niya ng leadership, di ba? So, importante yun. Sa ngayon, wala tayong nakikita.
Ayun eh. Nawala si Vic Rodriguez. And then ngayon, anong maritas mo kay Paul Soriano? Speaking of deputies, di ba ito yung mga
chismis na lumalabas.
Chismis lang ito. Caveat lang yan.
We don't know.
Mga sana all TV, mga kaibigan natin. What's happening with Paul Soriano? Like,
he's no longer
in their circulation.
Of anything.
Is it because of, among others, it was the last straw, the love campaign thing? Na
probably, maybe. Yun ang sinasabi ng mga vloggers and the Maharlika type.
So what's the chismis according to, again, caveat, this is not what we're saying.
The thing is, si Paul, wala din naman siya na-contribute from the start nung admin.
Ouch.
Diba? So, hindi din naman
yung logo yung logo ng office nila, di ba?
Sino gagamit nun ngayon? Diba? Apply kaya ako. Ako na papalit kay Paul Soriano sa OPA. Actually, ang ganda ng point mo kay Paul Soriano kasi yan ang very big part missing kay PBBM, communications. Magaling siya mag-communicate siguro pag yung mga tao na mas aral or mas nakakaintindi ng economy.
Official language.
Pero yung sa masa, yung sa hindi ma-i-communicate ng maayos yung mga plano niya or yung magagandang niya. And parating nababalik doon sa mga like pangako niyang 20 pesos na bigas and parating nababalik doon yung issue Instead of highlighting yung mga successes na nagagawa, 'di ba? Or kumbaga, for example, yung sa farmers, yung nawala yung sa kanilang agrarian reform na utang. Dapat yun, immediate storm yun na.
Yun nga like the agrarian the amortization the debt cancellation, amelioration. Like, ang dami mong content na pwedeng gawin dyan,
dapat i-highlight nila ng i-highlight.
Parang,
talk to the farmers,
the president is there being hugged by the farmers.
Yes.
Ayan, free advice. Hindi na kailangan 3 million sa logo.
Pwede na nga ako sa OPAC Ako nga papalit Pero hindi nga, siguro yun yung difference niya sa dad niya.
Yun nga, like, what's going on, bro? Wala siyang Vic Rodriguez, wala siyang Paul Soriano. Like, what is it? Kasi, at some point, nagte-take over na iba Nag-take over na si Rafi. Si Rafi Tulfo.
Ibang narrative yung nabubuo. If you don't build your own narrative, if you don't grow.
Nature abhors a vacuum. If wala kang narrative, pati si Sarah rin nag-withdraw na rin sa blogger world, di ba? So, the field is open for pro-Digong. Not for the pro-Digong world. Bloggers are very active. Attacking Edka, attacking and yan yung funny From Rappler to Sasot, if you look at their criticisms, parang medyo, wait lang. Tapos parang tayo pa yung nag-explain. Hindi, ganito kasi ganito, ganyan kasi ganito. Tuloy, nag-pro-admin daw tayo.
Ayun, ganun tuloy. Ikaw na Pero yun nga. For example, yun yung criticism ko doon sa zona niya. Yung mga pabahay. He's ambitious nung plano niya, 6 million houses.
Malapit sa puso natin yan, diba? Kasi sa condominium.
You change a life of correct. Diba? Isang pamilya if you give them a house or cheap, affordable housing. Bakit hindi niya hinighlight yun sa speech niya? Why doesn't he show the the hundreds of buildings na pagagawa natin na ganyan-ganyan.
The drone shot niya.
Drone shot.
Diyan, magaling yung mga Marcos, di ba? Supposedly. Performative.
Yun ang hindi niya namana siguro or nakuha. Yung ganun yung
But si Sandro quiet na rin, di ba? Pansin mo ba, si Sandro quiet na rin? Like, there's no communication strategy. It's really weird because you would think that's the one thing he's good at. Because in the elections, they did very, very well, which makes you wonder, like, if there's one thing I didn't expect, hindi naman ako mayabang, hindi naman saya mayabang, but I think I predicted a lot of things that turned out over the past year on foreign policy, on economics, ganun. Literally, my article the day after election was, don't panic, no cause for panic, because he's going to be a traditional president. You can look at it. It's in Nikkei Asia. The day after elections, my article came out, no? I was already writing it while knowing the election outcome, like, alam ko na sabi. But, itong communications ang di ko nakita. Parang, I was expecting Vito Rodriguez, Paul Soriano, they'll go like all out, blogger world. Ikaw maging Malacanang blogger.
Everyday propaganda, everyday.
Yeah, tapos yung nakakairita na.
Siguro, meron din,
and then now, it's a blank,
maybe they're too overconfident kasi ang taas ng popularity ratings, ang taas ng...
Pero 60 na lang siya dun sa isa, bro.
Oh.
That's not high. Si Pinoy was 70 plus, Digong was 90 plus. Honestly, 60, 70 is not that high for first year. Kung ako si Marcos, parang 60 is not bad, but it's lower than the two immediate presidents. So, and lalo Digong was like 90%, bro. So, I don't know. I mean, and then we're seeing even surveys that Sara is also not doing well in Davao, for instance. No, this could be the beginning of something. I'm not saying na pabaksak sila. I'm just saying they may not have the Teflon effect or the endurance level of Digong, or even Pinoy. Pinoy actually also stepped down with majority approval despite all the Mamasapano and all of those crises that we saw towards the end of his administration. So, yun nga yung point ko is this the lull before the storm? Parang things look chill and everything like that, but
pero kasi inisip din natin yung kay Digong nun We were waiting for his numbers to go down. It didn't go down
But Digong is a charismatic leader. And there's fear, there was authoritarian, none of this is...
And maybe Marcos just needs to idikit lang. That's why, di ba, yung sa ICC, di ba, it was very strong. Yan na yung huli natin. We're not talking to them anymore. That appeals doon sa base ni Digong. Uy, si Marcos is protecting Digong, Tatay Digong. Baka yun lang yung kailangan niya gawin.
Together, yeah.
He just needs to, di ba?
So it let's just call it like the... para siyang just tick the boxes lang, ganun na style. Let's just do this and that. Let's just get through the 6 years, parang ganun yung thinking niya. But yun nga, bro, like, my feeling is, if there will be a scandal, like when Maharlika or something like that, mag-explode yan, and he won't have much of defense power sa kasi ngayon pala, nakikita mo, nag-build up na di ba? Yung pro-China people, yung opposition, attack na attack Ngayon, siguro he feels confident pa. But if in case something really big happens, I'm just not sure he has the cushion, the communication cushion. Kasi wala na si Paul, wala na si Victor, wala na yung mga bloggers. Pati sila Daryl Y, nagiging sarcastic na rin kay sa mga So like, I don't know, my feeling is, baka he looks strong and all, but the cushion is too thin, perhaps.
We will see kung anong class. That will test his leadership talaga. Yeah. Kung anong klase leader siya, and of course si First Lady Lisa, silang dalawa.
But to be clear, we're not saying. If I were to bet, I would say he'll finish it pretty relaxed, right?
But we're hearing the same yung mga ugong-ugong behind the scene.
Yeah, yun nga. Yeah. Oh. And also yung pension reform ng military, mukhang tuloy-tuloy na yan. So that could also create a lot of backlash and
Parang gusto ko din tanong, Richard. This one is for for our audience na who are opposition or pro LENI, di ba? Pero should you help itong mga should they support itong mga like yung mga DDS na trying to bring down Marcos? Pero if they become successful in getting rid of PBBM, Sara is, di ba si Sara yung tataas, and they may not like yung baka bumalik ulit sa Digong years and how they were treated during the Digong years. So, ikaw, what would you say to the opposition?
I would say whatever is left of the opposition, this is just an analysis, no? I'm not telling anyone to do anything. I think that's split into at least 3 camps, no? Yeah. There's one camp of, let's just call it hardline anti-Marcos. Okay. My sense is that camp will inevitably strengthen the Digong camp. Okay. So they're like undeclared.
These are the never Marcos talaga.
Never Marcos na are inevitably going to help the pro-China Digong, but not intentionally.
Not
intentionally. Because by attacking Marcos, they're also going to weaken the not so bad side of Marcos Jr., by the way, Jr., including his foreign policy. Of course, they're not doing this intentionally, but they're amplifying. Right? Kaya nga sabi ko, you'll see some ironic things where pro-tatay and yung kabila parang tumutugma yung kanilang
attack. Kasi even the pink vloggers, they are quoting Maharlika. They are aligning na eh.
So parang weird, diba? So that's the problem. Yung hinatid horseshoe, that the extremes will meet towards the end. Of course, it's not a tacit alliance, but it's a de facto situation. There's a second group which is, for lack of a better term, protect BBM, right? Like, we're not a fan of Marcos Sr., but definitely we don't want Duterte's back. So, let's help this guy, right? And
ito naman yung mga never Dutertes, siguro.
Exactly. That's a better way of putting it, which is not a fan of Marcos Sr., but never Duterte. So with Junior, maybe we can get something done. And a lot of them are actually inside the administration, right?
Okay.
Right? So I'm not going to name names. They're already there, right? They're working. So the plan here is to avoid another Duterte coming back. And then there's a third group, which is Riza is there, Rafi's there. Interesting names are coming up there. So it's like never Marcos, never Duterte, but let's go for something new, something different.
Hindi sila hindi nakikialam masyado ngayon, or per
case
issue.
To case basis, exactly. Case to case basis. Like they will call out what's wrong with Marcos, they'll call out what's wrong with Digong, while hoping Riza does well, while hoping even Rafi, cheering for Rafi. Good job, you know. So this is what's happening right now. You have three different camps coming out. So there's no the realignment also within the opposition, I think, is happening right now. And interestingly, I even saw some folks from the extreme left or from progressive side who were cheering even Aimee, for instance, Marcos, when Aimee was attacking BBM on RCEP issue, on EDCA issue. So very interesting realignments are happening here and there. Kaya na-scramble eh. So I think the only thing that is the same since last year is Sara and BBM lang. Everything around them has scrambled.
How about the pink movement? Hati-hati din yung pink movement dun sa mga camps na sinabi mo? Or?
My sense is, internally, there are already conversations about reboot, right? But they're thinking about the timing to get the ball rolling because they feel, kasi ganito, I think ito yung bone of contention, di ba? So the other day lang na-interview ko rin si Ronald Llamas, but really on the opposition more than our discussion last time, which is journal. Now, my sense is, ako and Ronald, our idea is, ngayon pa lang you have to prepare for 2028. But I know there are people in the opposition whose argument is, no, timingin natin yan. Kasi tignan mo, si LENI by late announcing perhaps made it hard to win, but actually it gave an element of surprise that immediately made her number 2. Remember, LENI was like 5, 6, 3%, and immediately she went up. So their thinking is, we'll do another surprise, but this time we'll do it better. Surprise lang yung announcement, but not the preparation. You get it? Kasi last time, both preparation and announcement were last minute. And then nag-unit team yung kabila. So patayan, tapos ang laban. But still, LENI overperformed compared to what was expected of her, right? She went from 2-3 million to 15+ million. So they're thinking, whatever LENI does, she runs for governor. I think her preference is more local. The governor or congresswoman or mayor or whatever. But whatever, she and other opposition, they'll do it at the right time next year. Kasi tingin nila, this year was honeymoon. Don't agitate Marcos. Because if you come out strongly against Marcos, lalo maglilin siya sa Dutertes. But if you just make Marcos feel comfortable, Marcos says, baka pwede rin itong mga to sa akin. So may room for maneuver ako. And so that's where I'm saying, maybe
that's smarter. That's a smarter strategy.
So,
opinion ko.
To put it in ang tawag dyan is tactical withdrawal. Ang nangyari is tactical withdrawal, preparation, and then boom, launch when the time comes. Probably next year before registration for the midterm elections, we're gonna see big moves of pinks.
Naisip ko lang din when you said that na baka local si LENI. Let's say, for example, Mayor of Naga. Sure win si Leni sa Naga. I don't see any, she will lose there. If she wanted to run for mayor, she could stay away from national issues. She doesn't have to react doon sa unlike if she becomes senator na wala kang choice, kailangan mo mag-react sa ganito, sa Maharlika, kailangan mo dito, but if you're mayor, you could just focus lang ako sa local ko, then overperform there, di ba?
She will be ganito, she'll be locally oriented, but she'll be still a national conversation.
Yes.
Parang like Digong, Davao model.
Exactly.
The Naga model. So, Lenny will say, focus na ako sa mga... Anyway, Vico is doing the same, right? Hindi ako magsasalita about Maharlika, whatever, but I'm doing here in Pasig.
Let my work speak for itself,
right?
Diba? Ito yung how I lead. Kasi si Lenny, yun ang, I think, kulang sa kanya, di ba? Parang as
Exhibit A.
Exhibit A.
Jesse had that, not Lenny.
As executive,
kasi congresswoman siya, not mayor. So, feeling ko, or if I were to give an advice, that would be my advice. Okay, you didn't do the first version, which is mobilize that 15 million, go and all. But yun nga, the downside of that was it would make Marcos Jr. nervous. He'll be more Digong or more Duterte. So actually, by tactical withdrawal, you took a bet that BBM will chill and actually be reasonable and sane, which is exactly what happened so far. Not fantastic, but reasonably sane. And some would even say moving in good direction. But later on, Lenny runs local, but the local with an international and national resonance, no?
It won't go away. Nandun na yun.
And then that will set you up for 2028. If she does very well for 3 years or whatever, Jansen Naga.
If no one in the opposition steps up, diba?
Although my sense is Riza will set up. It's almost 100% she'll run at least for VP.
Yun.
But Lenny could be an inspiration for a new generation of young mayors, governors, LGUs, and she'll be something like a Sonia Gandhi. Yun, parang, she doesn't assume a national position, but becomes like the paramount stateswoman who inspires the opposition. Something like Sonia Gandhi style in India.
Parang siguro, yung kanyang late husband, si Jesse Robredo, pero mas kilala and mas higher profile sa buong bansa.
Then actually, I was thinking about it. Yeah, if she's mayor of Naga and she does some very nice initiatives, it will be very well covered by bloggers, by media. International awards are gonna come in. So I've realized I never said this point before, but you see, I'm thinking very deeply about this. So hindi ako mayabang na mali ang opposition, ako lang tama. I'm always wondering but there could be another game plan here, even unintentionally, and maybe actually. So in the same way now we said, maybe we're underestimating BBM. Maybe we're also underestimating Lenny. Maybe Lenny is actually doing the right thing. Maybe Lenny is going to pleasantly surprise us the same way that BBM pleasantly surprises us in a different way, no? So after 6 years of Digong, I think we tend to over-appreciate the confrontational and dramatic. Maybe the quiet, silent killer is the way forward, right? And maybe Lenny is going to pull off her own magic in her or so, and we're going to be once
either through her or yung kanya, maybe she become kingmaker, diba?
Queenmaker, whatever. Queenmaker, exactly. Yeah, but my sense is Riza is really preparing for highest office, either VP or president, and then other conversations are going to come in. But let's leave that for another episode. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed this. This was nice, no? Kasi, what we do in this show is we're not just here to say, oh, eto yung alam namin. We're also actually thinking in this show, right? We're reflecting, right? And I like it when we bounce off ideas, because one thing I appreciate with you, Mark, is you're coming in not as a political strategist. You're not coming in as an academic. You're coming as a very practical oriented person who knows the pulse on the streets and who also understands the human drama and the entertainment drama, communications drama. So I really appreciate this because it allows me not to be caught with theories too much or caught with some templates, but actually be open to fluidity. So yeah, in the same way that Marcos, his passive style did wonders for him so far, we don't know how long. The Lenny quiet way of leadership may actually surprise us pleasantly in coming months later this year. Let's see. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how things are going to move on those fronts. And yes, in the meantime, we discussed Riza, Tulfo, etc. We'll have more discussion about that. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. Mark, maraming salamat. I really enjoyed our conversation today.
Please subscribe, Real Talk Pilipinas. thank you very much sa lahat ng
please,
support.
subscribe lang, libre lang yan on YouTube. We're also launching our Facebook
page.
And hopefully soon we're going to also launch our Spotify and Apple podcast. So please listen to us. We interview the leading thinkers, leading strategists, and hopefully soon leading policymakers in the country. And also two humble guys just sharing their ideas about things. So please just subscribe. Libre lang yan. Libre lang mangarap. So please subscribe kayo para we keep on pushing this. Kasi nga, ang laki ng effort ng mga kaibigan natin dito
Thank
sa
you very much,
Scott Media. They're really making a lot of effort putting this together. Hindi po libre. I mean, it's hard. And ngayon, actually, umuulan. The weather is not good. And yet, still people made an effort here. So, yun lang. That's all we are asking. Just subscription. Hopefully, constructive comments. Even if hindi kayo agree sa amin, okay lang. Pero please just keep it polite and constructive. Yung isang episode namin with Banat Bahay, like mag-1,000 comments na yata. And surprisingly, 99% are actually very sane and 90% are positive actually. So,
it proves na you could have
Exactly.
You could have opposing views but have maayos na conversation.
We can have real talk but keep it polite, keep it gentlemanly, keep it, educational. And yun naman talagang pagiging Pinoy natin, di ba? Kahit sa Amerika tayo nag-train sa football. Hindi, binabalik ko yung episode. No, it's really yung pakikisama. That's really one of the things I love about being Filipino. Yung pakikisama, respeto. Even if online nag-troll tayo, once we're in person, thanks to each other, we recognize each other's humanity, each other's dignity, and that's what really matters to us. So once again, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Real Talk. Please subscribe on different platforms, beginning with YouTube. That's the list you can do for us. Please, maraming salamat. And thank you so much also to Scott Media and our friends here who have been preparing another beautiful episode.
Real Talk